words flowing from the survival scrolls. I am your gracious host, Mr. Bobby Shades, and this is Bridget Kids. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Brittney Griner. Does the punishment fit the crime? Let's go. So Brittney Griner, ladies and gentlemen, WNBA women's basketball athlete who was just recently sentenced. Let me bring this down, I'm yelling. Who was recently sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison. Why? Because she was trying to smuggle out 0.7 grams of THC in a vape. Question of the day, does the crime, I keep saying it backwards, does the punishment fit the crime? I had a discussion with a colleague of mine, and she said, I feel she should be sentenced. I don't know about 9 years, but I feel that she should be sentenced. I gotta be honest with you, family, I kind of agree with that too. Now, why so many years? Is it politically driven? Is it racially driven? Now, you may be saying, why racially? Because there's a young lady, about a year or two, named Audrey Lober. And she, forgive me family, I'm gonna have to constantly keep going back and forth because I don't have my usual tablet that I normally put my music on. So just want to let you guys know. Bring you on the ride with me. Let you know what's going on behind the scenes. Audrey Lober, 19 years old, had 17 grams of THC that she was trying to smuggle into Russia. She was sentenced and she was out in 2 months. And her fine was 15 or 16,000 rubles. Brittney got 9 years, 9.5 years technically, fined 1 million rubles, which equates to $16,400 in US dollars. She's white. But I don't know if it's racially motivated. I really don't know. Why? Because you had Trevor Reed, who spent 2 years in a Russian prison. Don't know what his crime was. I'll have to investigate that. I have to research that. But it was tough. And there's also Mark Fogel. Mind you, Trevor Reed is white. Mark Fogel came into Russia, sentenced to 14 years for marijuana. That was prescribed by his doctor. He's white. So, why such harsh penalties? I know of an individual in my life who decided to go to another state. And because of foolishness, was picked up, pulled over, and was fined $5,000. Even the cop said, kind of surprised it's that high. However, the truth of the matter is that he went into another state and violated the rules of that state. Had he been a local, I found out his fine would have been $1,500, pushing $2,500. But because he was an outsider and the optics didn't look good because he's an outsider and he's violating the laws of that state, he was fined $5,000. No sentence, but still in the ether of fixing out this situation nonetheless. He violated that space that belonged to somebody else. Brittney Griner violated that space that belonged to someone else. Not to mention the political strife that is taking place between both nations. Sanctions that have been put on by U.S. Administration because of the if I say something from my perspective, from an American's perspective, it sounds like propaganda. From the conflict between the Ukraine and Russia, I don't want to come off as propaganda-ish. I like to be fair, because in other countries they put up caricatures and they have media outlets that tell stories that are not accurate at all, to say the least. So I believe she should get sentenced. She should have gotten sentenced. 9 years? No. But sentence? Yes. I have been on planes. I've been in buses and what have you where people have touted, well, I'm an American. Truth be told, that shit don't hold weight no more. It really doesn't. We are not looked upon favorably at all. Not to say that another country's shenanigans are to be looked upon favorably, but America, not to be looked upon favorably at all. At all. So, family, does the punishment fit the crime? Now, some of you may be saying, well, it is racial. Without a doubt, blacks around the world, people of color around the world, are one of the most hated groups on the planet. Literally. It's unfortunate and it's sad. Literally. In India, blacks are rounded up and enslaved. To this day, there's slavery in India, made into servants. In Africa, Chinese, or people of the provenance of China, go in, they do business negotiations to help that country because Chinese money is long. And then they mistreat them, do horrible things to them, and over time, kick them out of their own, like, in other words, when I say kick them out, like if they hire a crew of individuals, of blacks, through time and evolution, it would become Asian workers to take over whatever that negotiation, which normally is the negotiations are normally building of highways and byways and to bolster up that country, water plants, a lot of different things to make a country run. The Ukraine, that was very evident and very sad. I even did a video on it called Chaos Within the Midst of Chaos. You have people being misplaced, and I'm using the word kindly, been misplaced in their homes, bombs, killings, this, that, and the third, removed, leaving, fleeing the country. Yet, at the train depots, blacks are trying to get on, trying to survive, trying to get out of the chaos, the bombings, the killings, the jets overhead. Is it ending? It is ending. I hate it when I have to use this. Can I go this way? Yeah, I can. And they were denied access on the trains. Many of them to this day are detained in certain holding camps till it can be found out what can be done. However, the inhabitants of that country were allowed on the trains to flee. And don't get me wrong, you want to look out for your people first. I get that. You really do. But then you don't want to help your people, help those other individuals that live in that country be able to move and get out? It's cold-blooded. You're trying to survive and you can't help other people to survive, yet aid and stand by the Ukrainians in the midst of this hostile situation are standing by you, and you can't even show a humbleness to help others in need just as much as your people. That's cold-blooded. That's seriously cold-blooded. I mean, really horribly cold-blooded. So, does the crime, I keep saying it backwards, does the punishment fit the crime? That's the question. Does the punishment of what Brittney Griner is going through fit the crime? Mark Fogel, who I mentioned earlier, a gentleman who went into Russia with a prescribed use of marijuana, is in there for 14 years. I don't know where, maybe the gulags. For those of you who do not know where the gulags is, it's in a Siberian, one of the coldest places on earth. And where the dude, you can't go around. And where the conditions are beyond atrocious. And this young lady will be 40 years old when she steps out. Sad. And yes, she should have gotten, she should have been arrested. Think. My father always say, think. In the midst of a political strife, in the midst of political turmoil with your country and another country which they don't like each other, you are going to try to be ballsy and sneak in, take out something. Come on, man. That's not cool. Think it over. Think over what you're doing. It's wrong. It's reckless. 9 years? No. Something? Maybe. Maybe just a fine. 2 million rubles. 5 million rubles. Maybe that. Putin don't play. Putin's a straight gangster. Straight gangster. Straight gangster. I remember one time I saw him at a table discussing with his commandants, comrades, his generals, whatever the business was. Guy handed him some paper showing him, we're gonna do doing this, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do over there, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna move over there, He just calmly just looked at him, took the paper, ripped it up, and sat and put it to the side and sat there and looked at him like, and I was like, hey, thug life. Anyway, family, that's all I have for you for today. Let us give thanks and praise that we are 6 feet above ground and not below, and that those in our inner circle are in the same vein. Whatever you do today, family, my voice just cracked. It's been cracking lately. Whatever you do today, family, make a statement. If silence is your statement, then make it loud and proud. The oxymoron, eyes wide shut. Keep your head on a swivel. And my motto, my creed, my steed, my belief: stay lovely, stay sexy. But most of all, family, my bridging fears, family, my BFFs, stay safe. I am your gracious host, Mr. Bobby Shades, and this is Bridging Fears. See you guys in the next clip.